Today is of no exception. We are going to do what is called producer surplus. On the other hand, we are saying that sometimes suppliers, when they are sending, or firms, when they are sending their product to the market, yes indeed, because of the theory of cost and production, they should be able to look at their cost of production in order to put price on their commodity. Now we are saying that sometimes when the firm puts price on the commodity and they send it to the market, it sometimes happens that the price that they have put on the commodity, when it reaches the market, consumers will be willing to pay higher prices than the price that the firm or the sellers actually put on the commodity. I hope it makes sense. Sometimes because of shortage, yes, or high demand. I hope it makes sense. Or sometimes because of the weather and those things and the seasons, consumers might be willing to pay a higher price for their commodity. So we are saying that when such instance happens, of which the supplier is receiving more money, is receiving a higher price, when the supplier is receiving a higher price on the commodity than how he or she actually was expecting, we are saying that that one is called producer surplus. So when the supplier was sending the products to the market, he was willing to sell it at the price of 15 Ghana cedis. And then when he sent it to the market, they were willing to pay 20 Ghana cedis for the commodity or for the product. Then we are saying that the difference between what the seller was actually intended, or was actually intending to sell the product, and what they bought it, they actually paid for it, what the consumers actually paid for it on the market, which is 20 Ghana. The difference between them is what is called producer surplus. So producer surplus is the difference between what the supplier was willing to sell on the market and what he has actually received from consumers or from the people who bought the product. I hope it makes sense. So producer surplus is the difference between the price that producers are willing and able to supply a good for, and what price they actually receive from customers. So it is the difference between the price that producers are willing and able to supply a good for, and the price they actually receive from customers or consumers. That is to say that producer surplus is the benefits or the value that producers receive for selling a good in the market. Is the benefit or value that producers receive. The producers, they were willing to sell the product at the price of 15 Ghana, and now consumers are paying 20 Ghana. So it's the value or the benefit is 5 Ghana. That is the benefit. That is what is inducing them to produce more. It could also be defined as the amount of money that producers receive in excess of the amount necessary to induce them to produce the good. I hope it makes sense. Geometrically, it is the area below the equilibrium price paid, but above the supply curve. Geometrically, we are saying that it is the area below the equilibrium price paid for, but below the supply curve. Now look at the diagram on the board. When you look at the diagram on the board, we could see that this is the supply curve. This is the supply curve. This is the supply curve. And here is the equilibrium price. Here is the equilibrium price. And this is the supply curve. And we are saying that here is the producer surplus. So it is the area below the equilibrium price. Area below the equilibrium price, but above the supply curve. Are you getting it? So here is the producer surplus. I hope it makes sense. So geometrically, if we are taking this one, we could see that it is also a right angle triangle. It is also a right angle triangle. So bringing it here, we could see that it is like this. Here is PE, and then here is the equilibrium. Here is the equilibrium, and then here is P. I hope it makes sense. So once it is like this, we can still use the same formula, which is half times the base. The base is here. The base is this one. The base is this one, and when you trace it down here, is the equilibrium quantity. Is the equilibrium quantity. So equilibrium quantity times the price here and here, which is the height. So is PE minus P, and that is the formula for producer surplus. I hope it makes sense. Now, whenever you see a question, you're going to use this formula to calculate for it. Now I'm leaving you, but let me give you a gift, and the gift is the circumstance whereby there is a change in the supply curve. It could either be an increase or a decrease. When there is an increase or an increment, it means that the supply, the producer surplus will increase. It will extend to this portion. But when it decreases, it will become this portion. I hope it makes sense. It will be only this part. So, having understood this one, watch out for our next lecture, where we are going to bring the two together, producer and the consumer surplus together, and then we perform some gymnastics on it. Once again, my name is Possible. Bye bye.